All right. I'm hoping people can hear me. Hello? Is anyone here? Is anyone here? All right. What's going on, Charlie? How are you this evening? Sounding a little better than last week, I feel. What's up, Thomas? Dude, I know I was supposed to give you a call this week. I've been so busy. I apologize. I was looking at your second email today and I was like, oh, shoot, man. I didn't give him a call. Yeah, I'm a Dodger fan, even though I live in New York. Got 4 people up in here. Get comfortable. What's up, T. Neil? Alzilla. They were a New York team a while ago. Really quick, I got 0 likes, 9 people. I noticed earlier today a few people were talking about they had a issue with the like button on some videos today. Did anyone have any issues like that? What's up, Kevin? How are you? Yeah, you did have an issue? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Dude, YouTube, I don't know if they're messing with me or if it's just whatever goes on, but I was like losing subs. I lost like 10 subs. I still haven't found the like button. Shit. I don't even know where it is. Is this it? I can't like myself. Let me check. Let me check on my phone and I'll see if I can help you. What's up, Trippy Hippie? Shoot. Hang on, y'all. Let me see. Shoot. All right. Hang on, y'all. Okay, so if you're using your phone, Charlie, if you're using your phone, click out of the chat, and it'll bring you to the like the normal YouTube thing. Jim Baker's in the house. Holy shit, man. You've been gone for 2 weeks. What's up, brother? Thanks, Julie. Levi J, what's up, brother? So how about that video the other day? Hi, Jasmine. How are you, honey? Did you guys, how many of you guys were able to find that link and watch that video from the 3 people who were attacked by a dog man in Thunderbolt? What's up, brother? Happy birthday late. In Brazil. Did many of you guys see that or not? That was exactly. And so come to find out, the article was translated in Portuguese, and what they were speaking was it was a Brazilian tribal language. And thank you, Kevin. And I have a person who I'm in contact with that speaks or knows someone that speaks that language. So I'm going to have them translate the video for me. Thomas, I definitely will, brother. I've been so busy this week, man. I literally, my house right now is officially mine. So I literally have been piecing the downstairs together, and I've just been all out busy. I apologize, Thomas. I will get a hold of you. Sasquatch speaks by breathing inwards. That makes sense. Damn it. That makes sense. What's up, Randy? How are you? Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that, brother. Live from New York. That's true, right? Robert Sharp's in the house. Yeah, it's the house, Neil. It's the house that I've been living in. I had a beautiful apartment upstairs. Downstairs was a dentist office, and my initial landlord passed away. I got my pre-qual letter a week late and was beat by another guy who's a really nice guy. But right as of this point, in a year's time, the building will be mine. So I'm super stoked. I've been doing a lot of things here and there. What's up, Dean? How are you? Yeah, Thunderbolt. Definitely. I felt bad for those people. You know, a few people made a couple comments. One guy's like, well, how come the guy is not dead? Or why isn't the guy's jugular vein squirting blood or whatever? And yeah, definitely going to be a great one. And I was just like, obviously it wasn't deep enough. I do the miners that were in Brazil. That was a few years back, right? What's up, Smokey? It happened again. No shit. Yeah, the Georgia one where she recorded it. I remember when she shared that file with me. Well, Julie, when people don't know, like, okay, here, why people aren't talking about it is because other YouTube channels really don't do the work. They I don't know what they do. I'm constantly researching, I'm constantly searching for attacks. I'm changing my VPN so I can go worldwide and look at things. So yeah, it's I'm sure people, once they hear about my channel and hear about the video, they'll jump on the bandwagon just like that and not just say, hey, they found it themselves, this and that. What's up, Captain? Charlie, what do you mean your friend Jordan? Would you guys hear something in the woods? I did look into that crash, and it was just a crash. And I'm sure there's going to be some half-ass channels out there making something out of nothing, but it was a training exercise that went bad. There was no anything going on. They didn't have any armaments on that. Did you hear about the dog man that killed that dude? What dude? Hey Shannon, how are you? Drew, what's up? Thank you very much. No, it's definitely not good to go in the woods at night. Um, Actually, I don't know if you guys last summer I decided to go into the woods and um for shits and giggles and do it. Do you think the military have kill teams for dogmen? Absolutely. In Meeker, Colorado, I covered that there were kill teams in Colorado, Kevin. And tomorrow's upload, there's going to be another one. I've talked about it 100 times on my channel. Yes, there are definitely that dude you were talking about. What dude am I talking about, brother? I don't understand. What guy was I talking about? Dogman versus Bigfoot, who would win? Bigfoot. Depends on the day, I'd imagine. I'd have to go with Bigfoot, maybe. In Provo. Actually, for some reason, I think I did. I was just that like name came right to my head. Did I do it yesterday? 2 days ago? I think I did the other day. I'll have to look about the Provo, Utah one. But I remember. Thanks, Catherine. I appreciate that. Mike, what's up, brother? Let me see what I got here. I had a couple encounters that we can go into really quick. And then we can shoot the shit and have some fun. All right, I got something. I got a new chair the other day. Actually, yeah, 2 days ago, and I just set it up today. Thanks, Steve. I truly appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. I wear a size large t-shirt. How much was my chair? Expensive. I didn't realize that chairs like this were expensive. I had like a regular office chair prior, but I wanted something different. And a little under, Jim. Probably it was like 329 or something like that. So no, I got it at Staples. Actually, Catherine, in a couple of days, I'm gonna be going. I started this state by state, so I'm going in reverse, and I will have Mississippi. I'll pull out the file for Mississippi. Thanks, Al. I appreciate that. My email address. Hang on really quick, and I'll put it in the description here. My kid saw a bat person. Looks a lot like the photo you had. A bat person. Like, did it fly, Thunderbolt? All right. I just put my email in the thing. Have you started a map of encounters? No, I haven't started a map, and I don't intend on starting a map of encounters. I'm just too busy to. I want to have my book out sometime soon, but I just don't have time. I need like 10 more hours in a day to get shit done. Yeah, he did. Dark Waters has done one. I don't know if Dogman can see colors like us. I'd imagine if they are 100%, like if they have that canine gene, then they probably see like a dog. Hey Liz, how are you? So I'll quick share this experience with you guys, and then we'll talk a little more, and I'll share a couple more. Is that cool with you guys? Angela, if you email me, I'll give you an address. All right, so I'm going to share this. James Leeds, aka the Jersey Devil. Now, a good friend of mine who I met through the channel, and we talk every once in a while. Here's his book, actually. Paul Evans Pedersen Jr. He wrote this book called The Legendary Pine Barrens. And if you guys get a chance, grab that book because it is truly amazing. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Rockin' steady. Thank you very much, brother. I truly appreciate it. I really do. Tom, it is a great read. And Renee, I don't think she's lying. I think that's what she can see on her end. And you really didn't need to like call her out on that like that. Let's just be cool with each other, because she can probably see like one like, because I see 46 likes and 102 people. So I mean, there's really no reason to call someone a liar. I got 46. See, it's all different. It's the algorithm of YouTube. It's really weird. I lost 25 subscribers today. Thanks, MJ. I appreciate you guys are awesome. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's strange. All right. So is the Rougarou the same or different than a Dogman? No, I think it's definitely different. Because it is said to be able to change shapes, and the Cajun lore, it turns into a mist and stuff. So I mean, it's definitely physical at one point, but there's lore that says the Rougarou can change into an alligator as well. It not just a dog. The Beast Between the Rivers. Isn't that a made-up fiction book? Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Okay. I know for a fact they're chipped as well. It's been told on this channel, Chris, probably 3.5 years ago, so it's nothing new. Jim's giving out his Wi-Fi password. No, we're talking about the Rougarou, not Skinwalkers. Because they and they're definitely Skinwalkers are Navajo lore. So I mean, if you're gonna say Skinwalker, that would be referring to Navajo. There are shapeshifters. Many other tribes, Indian tribes, have different versions of shapeshifters. Why are they chipped? The U.S. military government. Actually, I just did a whole upload on Dogman in Arkansas. So I'm going to quick share this really quick. And so James Leeds, aka Jersey Devil. I'm not big on writing a long email. I have sat on this and other things for decades now. Leeds family plot across from the historic town in Smithville in Galway, New Jersey. You know who they are, as many of us do. I've been listening to your channel for months now, day and night. I know that there are many people who watch this who are like me and have some type of experience, but are just too afraid to talk about it because they don't want to sound like they're crazy. I'll only tell you that growing up, I had a bunch of experiences with a few spirits that haunted my grandmother's house. That was well known throughout my family. And it was really no big deal because we were used to it. My entire family has had some type of supernatural experience, from seeing UFOs to being assaulted or seeing ghosts. I remember trying to explain to my friends when I was younger about my grandmother's house, and I remember the ridicule, so I kept all the stories to myself or only shared them with other family members. While I will say most of the stories, there's a couple things that I have experienced that I have never said a thing to anyone about. Growing up in the area of Galway Township, you heard the name James Leeds on a daily basis because Jimmy Leeds Road is one of the main roads traveled through the Galway Township. You would be surprised how many people do not know that James Leeds is actually the Jersey Devil. I moved with my family to the township from Atlantic City when I was a young child. I went to Catholic school. I took a bus to school every day with other kids that lived in the township. Some of these kids lived on Leeds Point Road. I can remember 3 occasions when kids would get on the bus and they would be upset because something was scratching the back of their house or climbing on their roofs at night. Of course, they said it was the Jersey Devil, and as a child, your imagination runs wild. And considering they lived on the street from where it was said to be born, why not? I lived on a street where no less than 10% of the people on that street had the name Leeds. And yes, they were all somehow related to the infamous family. I can also tell you that there are many old timers who lived on that street who I got to know and would tell many stories about sightings of the infamous Jersey Devil. A couple of these stories stuck out to me because they scared me really bad. Nothing too crazy, but one in particular was someone driving down Moss Mill Road. Before there were few houses there, there were more fields and woods than anything. As this person was driving down Moss Hill Road, they had this urge to look to the left side of their pickup truck as they were driving, which they were going around 40 miles an hour, and there was something running on the side of the pickup truck. They accelerated to 65 miles an hour, and this thing kept up with them, and it just disappeared into a large patch of woods at the end of Moss Mill Road. where it runs into Leeds Point Road. The second experience I remember was a state trooper that was doing a routine patrol in the area of Scott's Landing. Scott's Landing is a little side road off of Leeds Point Road, which gives you access to the bay. Apparently, the state trooper had seen something back there and it scared him so much that he actually went into cardiac arrest. I never checked that story out, but I can tell you that a person who told me that is an actual former New Jersey state trooper. For some reason, when they were in high school, we had found a new fascination with the Jersey Devil. This had occurred because a few of us had gone out on the Oktoberfest celebration in the historic town of Smithville. When we left the celebration, we had to park next to a church, which was across the street, and that's when we saw it, the Leeds family plot. And to the left of the large gravestone that said Leeds was an older, smaller one that said James Leeds, 1797 to 1803. Then there was another stone in front of that one. That one said, "He lives again." I will never forget seeing that, so I did what every fearless, obnoxious high school schooler would do. I went back later that night and stole both headstones. Holy shit. Now, I had taken these headstones because we used to have keg parties in a patch of woods across from a restaurant, which is no longer there. It was called the Radlers. We used to have bonfires and do what high school kids do. We had brought the tombstones back into the woods close to where we would make this bonfire. Myself and a few other friends carried and hid those tombstones very deep in the woods. When we had laid them down, I had put leaves and branches over the top to camouflage them. I purposely marked the trees because we did not take a path. We made a path so these would be hidden and no one would take them. Nobody knew that we had taken them, well, they do now, and nobody knew that we were putting them behind there. We had plans to have a bonfire that night and bring them out to the party. I will never forget that my friend and I were there early and went to retrieve the headstones and followed the markings I left on the trees. When we had gotten to the area, you could see all the branches and leaves we had carefully laid on top of them to camouflage them were still there and didn't look a bit out of place. I could not believe, nor could John, when we started moving things around and both tombstones were gone. We couldn't accuse each other of playing jokes because we hadn't left each other's side from the time we had hidden them, because he had actually been staying with me at my parents' house. After we had gotten over the shock and disbelief, we jokingly said they must have come back for them. We didn't become afraid because of this. We felt challenged. So when you challenge a couple of 18-year-old boys who love trouble and love alcohol just as much, what do you think we did? That's right, Jeff. We went back and dug that son of a up. I know what you're thinking because I've heard it from people before. He wasn't buried there. It was just a gag. I'm going to tell you what happened when we went and dug him up. You tell me if this sounds like a gag. Oh, holy crap. So, I don't know if you guys are following along with this or not, but this guy, as a kid, stole the Jersey Devil, well, Jimmy Leeds headstone and put it in the woods. And he's admitting this. This is a crime. Anyway, then he goes and he's going to dig up the body of the Jersey Devil. All right. So, as we got a few more friends to come with us with the promise of a good time and a couple of cases of beer and a couple of bottles of Jack so we could dig up the bodies, we arrived at the cemetery at about 11 p.m. There were 6 of us. I jumped in first and started digging with a pickaxe to loosen the dirt. After 45 minutes, I hit something hard, and initially I thought it was either a log or some miscellaneous gravel. I was wrong. As we continued to dig, what we found were 12-inch by 4-foot slabs of gravel that were set every which way. We had no idea at the time why in the hell these giant slabs would be over somebody's grave. After we took 6 slabs out and got down about 4 feet, we hit a gigantic slab of marble. I will tell you, we were absolutely elated because it had taken us nearly 4 hours to get to that point. We had a flashlight, and I will tell you what we saw. I was the one who dusted the slab of granite off because we could see in a light, a little bit of the moonlight, there was something engraved in it. As one of the friends held the flashlight, I began to dust the slab with my hand, and what I saw still gives me goosebumps to this day. There was this satanic looking engraving of the sun. I instantly felt this crazy feeling of dread, so much so that I hopped right out of the hole. That's what she said. At that exact moment, my friend's parents' car alarm started going off, and the lights and horn were going uncontrollably. At that same instant, there was this old shuttle van that was parked next to the church, and I remember it was a 78 Chevy. It was sitting there for years in the same spot with flat tires and moss and algae growing all over the windows. It sounded like a diesel engine in it was trying to turn over, but nobody was in the truck. Under normal circumstances, you would think that this would be enough to scare a bunch of young guys away from the scene. Between the testosterone and the jack, we left about it for the most part, and we went and got crowbars. And you guessed it, we started to pry it open. I can tell you that it took about 90 minutes just to find the edges and dig out the walls of the grave so we could pry the lid up. I tell you that when the lid did pry open ever so slightly, I was overcome by a terrible smell of old death and something I do not know. I can also tell you that I was hit with a surreal feeling of this overwhelming urgency to leave. And that's exactly what I did. I will tell you that Galway Township is not nearly as developed, and there was very little traffic that went through there. In the middle of the night, the cemetery and the church were in great disrepair and not being used at that time. We really weren't concerned about getting caught, and even if we did get caught, I don't think we were concerned about, because I think we believed if you're going to get in trouble, why not get in trouble digging up the Jersey Devil? At about 5:30 in the morning, I told my friends that I was leaving, and I suggested they do the same. Surprisingly, they agreed. The beer and liquor had taken their toll, as well as the physical exhaustion from what we had did all that night. We quickly laid the slabs of granite back into the hole and put much of the dirt back into place and concealed everything with fallen leaves. We were going back the next night. I remember coming into my parents' house at 7:15 a.m. covered in mud, dirt, with leaves in my hair. My mother looking at me with a normal face of disapproval, because she knew that at the time in my life, I was closer to a feral child than the one she raised. I remember she said to me, leave my clothes on the back porch, take a shower, because I was filthy and smelled like a wino. I remember back in those days, I could put it away, take a 2-hour power nap, and do it all over again. I truly used to believe the less you remembered from the night before, the better time you had. I quickly called my buddies who helped me dig the hole that night and made plans to go back and finish the job. Throughout that day, I really started to think about the line I had crossed. I really started to get a bad feeling. I mean, a really bad feeling. At 5:30 p.m., everybody was getting together. We're going to do a preliminary with a couple of cases of beer and a few bottles of vodka, so we could find the courage and ambition to finish the job. I went down to the bulkhead in the town called Abskin, where we used to meet and drink before we would go out and cause chaos. I knew that I was not going back. I didn't know how I was going to talk my way out of it, but I wasn't going to. As the beer flowed and time quickly approached, I let it be known that I was not going. I said that I was going to spend time with a girl that I was dating. I was very surprised that my friends didn't fight me on this. After all, I was the mastermind behind it. Now that I reflect on everything, I think they wished they didn't go either. Unfortunately, they did. I'm not going to give you all the details about what transpired that night. The only thing that I'm going to tell you is that they did, in fact, take the body from the grave. The only thing that I was told about the body and the box is it was from a deformed child. It had an elongated skull that was rather deformed and looked like it had calcium deposits on part of the skulls. They took the rotting wooden box and put it in my friend's brand new Ford Bronco, too. They took it to the bonfire spot and they said they gave that SOB a Viking funeral. In other words, they threw it in the bonfire. So let's talk about what happened afterwards to all that was involved. I can tell you that it was not good. I can also tell you that half of those involved are dead. The other half, well, let's just say their lives didn't turn out as bright as our future said they would. I will tell you that my friend's brand new truck had the smell that no matter what he did, including changing the carpet headliner, he could not get rid of. Just like a Seinfeld episode. That was the least of his worries. I felt a constant negative energy with me. I said nothing to no one. I said nothing to no one until this very moment. I'm going to try to be brief and tell you the rest of the story that led me to this moment. About 2 months after digging up the grave of the Jersey Devil, I was riding my CR 500. I was pretty deep in Wharton State Forest. I can tell you that at the time, it was the early 90s, there was a lot of satanic rituals being performed in the forest, which is true. I had come across many ritual sites deep within the woods with antlers and dead animals. I wasn't too concerned if I did run into any of these satanic worshippers because my bike was hella fast. I didn't have to worry about sticking on any trails because it was so powerful I could make my own. Thankfully for that, one day I took my bike extra deep and extra far into where I usually rode. I went through towns like Green Bank, Chatsworth, and all the way down to Manchester. I actually got lost. Fuel was definitely a concern. I knew which direction the parkway was, so my plan was to cut through the forest. I would eventually run into the Garden State Parkway. I don't know where I was exactly. I started getting the feeling of dread, and the hairs on my arms and neck started to stand up out of nowhere as I was riding. CR 500s are fast bikes, so I know why he wasn't afraid. Something told me, don't look behind, just go fast. And that's just what I did. I have no idea how I made it out of the forest without a low branch taking my head off. I somehow made it to some type of trail that was very close to the parkway because I could see ahead of the trail vehicles going through the trees in the distance. I remember that this trail had a sharp 90-degree turn just ahead of me. I can see it as I quickly approaching. I start to slow down. And at that point, I decided I was close enough to the road that I could briefly stop and look behind me. I wish I didn't do that. I can tell you that my dirt bike was loud as hell. But what was coming up in the trees behind me, snapping branches, was louder. I had to lean up against the tree because I'm only 5'6", and the bike is definitely too big for me. I popped it in neutral. I took the turn and hit the brakes just enough to catch a small sapling to lean against. I can see to the left of the trail all types of movement high in the trees, branches falling down everywhere, or at least pieces of them. What I saw next still scares me to this day. If I hadn't found your channel or others like yours, I would have thought I was either crazy or having hallucinations. Whatever reason, I saw this gigantic, either black or really dark brown thing drop down into the path with such fluid motion it looked unrealistic. I can tell you that it was probably 50 yards away, but one thing that I will definitely remember were its eyes and its ears. They looked like daggers. This thing dropped down and looked through my soul with those eyes. I remember that what popped into my head was that it knew me and it was going to enjoy watching me suffer. I can only say that I watched it for a second as its movement after that, and I can tell you that it kind of looked like CGI. It moved so fast that it looked fake. Thank God I had that motorcycle running because I ripped through those woods and I knew it was coming right behind me and coming for me. I can tell you that somebody was protecting me because I pulled onto the shoulder of the parkway, and at that time, it was only a few sections I could say that didn't have a metal guardrail on it. I managed to get up the parkway and rode the thing well over 100 miles an hour until I was nowhere near those woods. I actually got off of exit 38, which is Atlantic City. I didn't care about the cops chasing me because I absolutely believed that this thing was chasing me on the side of the parkway as I was going down the parkway. I can tell you that what I now believe is what all those people were seeing at Leeds Point and in the Pine Barrens, Wharton State Forest, were those things dogman or werewolves or whatever the hell you want to call them. I can tell you that my belief in regards to James Lead is that they just may have been some type of witchcraft component tied into it. I can tell you, I think that something attached itself to me and every one of us that was involved. I can also say that although my life is fantastic now, it was filled with many things that were set in place that I believe were meant to torment and eventually destroy me. I am not a religious person. I can share, though I do believe in God. And when this curse left me, and made no mistake, I believe that's exactly what it was, a curse. When it left, it only left because I asked for forgiveness. It was always in my back of my mind the rest of my life, constant turmoil. When my upbringing was fantastic, future looked bright, then most, as did all of my friends, regardless of their antics when we were young. I am the lucky one because I am still alive and my life has never been so good. My other friends that are still alive have bad old things like alcohol addiction and not good health. Those that died were also battling addiction and poor health. I don't know why I was fortunate enough to pull through and get through such a tumultuous life, but I am forever grateful for it. I know that people will hear my story, and if you do, in fact, read it, and they have doubts because it is unbelievable, I know that I am halfway decent writer, so people probably think this is BS. I can tell you that it is not. I have many other stories of what I endured because of what we did that night. I don't doubt one single story people share on your channel, Jeff. I don't care how unbelievable they sound. If people have supernatural experiences, then and only then would they understand. There are definitely things in this world that we will never understand. Thanks, Jeff. I really do enjoy your channel. M. Holy shit. All right. This is crazy because Paul Pedersen, when he didn't even know what Dogman was until I reached out to him. And I said, hey, I have this channel. And yes, I do have a tattoo on my neck. I said, hey, I have this channel. I talk about Dogman, Bigfoot, everything else. Bo Benson, what's up, brother? And he started listening to the channel. And then it dawned on him that a lot of the Jersey Devil sightings may have been Dogman. And that's exactly what it sounds like to me. Hey, Rochelle, how are you? Thanks, Joe. Jim, you weren't here last week, but last week I shared about my Ouija board experience and how my cousins, two of my cousins are dead, and when I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and that story reminded me of my experience. Um, it's pretty crazy, man. I do not think. I mean, me and my friends did some dumb shit, but to dig up a grave that was supposedly the Jersey Devil is terrible. Abe, yeah, I did actually. I last week I shared my whole Ouija board experience. There's videos on my channel talking about it. Yes, exactly. They are called spirit boards for a reason, Kevin. Hey, Broad Snake, what's up? Ugh. So, what did you guys think of that? I mean, it was pretty messed up. Um, he admitted to two fucking crimes. You know, it's just crazy. Randy, you're going to bed. Have a good evening, my friend. No, I got the tattoo because my uh, well, I my grandfather, my dad, my great grandfather, are Freemasons, and I got it 20 years ago before I became one, and yeah, so. But when my grandfather died, I got a bunch of his stuff like that. And a lot of the rumors that you hear about Freemasons are just so made up and make believe. You would be surprised. It's raw. I'm not one, but still have the books. No, I was actually reading a story, Virgil. Can you repeat your question? I didn't see it. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of people don't have any idea what the Freemasons stand for or are about, and they just think because it's a secret society, it's not even really a secret society, that they're evil, but they are definitely not. Actually, check this out. This is really, really cool. And it's solid brass. Exactly, yo. Adjudicator, you are completely wrong. There are different sects, but I mean, unless you're a Freemason and you know, I mean, I, never mind. Maybe CIA plants. Yes, I do, Virgil. Yes, that is a awesome, awesome question. Virgil just asked, do you think some Dogman researchers might be CIA plants? even some you've interviewed. Um, I do believe that because um, and I don't think they're researchers, first of all, because they're plants. So they're fake researchers. And I think that they're put in everywhere to just confuse us even more because that's their goal. They never want us to hear and understand things. I roll with Cholo and Black. You wish you could delve into more on your channel. To be honest with you, your drunk aunt, I really, I, and I've said this probably 100 times, maybe even more. Um, I want to interview or find someone that has information on Nightmare Hall, um, because that to me would give us some answers on uh, some of the genetic creations that were created. I mean, I did have Laura Eisenhower on, but she really could only share what she knew, which was not a lot, and that's just what she had heard. Are there Dogman channels you suspect are CIA or divisions of? No comment. I heard that the dog from the Brady Bunch was half dog man. Jesus Christ. No, it's definitely not going to be easy. Haven't heard that story. I heard one similar to that from Ronald Coleman Jr. Absolutely, Nicole. Absolutely. Send an email. Matt, I do. I said I was going to email you or call you this week, and I've been literally so busy. I have your number down. I got to call Tom this week too. I've just got to get some time. I'm not purposely ignoring you. Please don't think I am, because I'm definitely not. And yes, we do need more info. I really think that Nightmare Hall, like, if you hear the stories, like I did probably 50 videos on some of the goings on there. And if you think about what the guys saw when they kind of freed the kidnapped women and stuff like that, it would only make sense that crawlers and things like that would um, come out of that area, So Dulce, yes, Dulce. Nightmare Hall is level five, level five of Dulce's underground base. Um, I she shared with me the experience about the boys that were fishing over there just this week. The Book of Shadows, the movie. Yeah, conferences definitely have agents there, but conferences are kind of a joke in my eyes. I think that these conferences that people go, hey, like I've had invitations, come speak at this dogman convention and this and that, and I'm just like, nah, I don't want to, because first of all, I I don't want to travel. Second, it would take away from my research and uh, everything that I do on a daily basis. And third, it's more or less people that just want to be famous, that are like, look what I can do. Look at me, look at this, look at that. When they've actually really done no research, they've just copied other people. What's up, Kelly? How are you? Not Josh Turner. Definitely Josh Turner. Yeah, he's got an ego trip too, but I don't like talking about people. Well, it's nice that you're here. Hey, Libra, how are you? Um, I did someone mention Josh Turner? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him or Marvin. I'll put excuse me, Nicole. I'll put my email in the thing again. Here you go. DZ, no, not as of yet. I gave him some time to just relax and stuff. Mothman 46, maybe, but I get that anyway. I don't really need to go and jump on the bandwagon and swing on nuts, because that's pretty much all that's at these conventions. Adjudicator, I try to be humble. I don't believe that there's any experts out there. I think we're always learning. I'm always learning from you guys, to be honest with you, since I started this channel, I've probably learned more from you guys than you guys have learned from me. So, I think it really is just a really cool thing that we've got going on. You know what I mean? What's up, Colin? How are you? Rob Salazar's in the house. What was my experience? Well, hang on one second and I'll share it. Dog NATO. Why would government employees and agents be allowed to spill the beans? That's a great question right there. I'll answer that question and then quick share my experience, because a few people haven't heard it. So why would government agents be allowed to spill the beans? Well, if you think about it, when we're already looked at like we're crazy, right? We believe in something that we know is true. I mean, I know what I saw was real. And that's the only thing I can honestly answer 100%, right? So when these government agents come in um, and they share stuff with us, it's almost a way of trolling us. You know, there's always a reason for them to come into the picture, if you know what I mean. Colleen, no, I didn't read what you commented. What's up, James? How are you? Never had a psychic reading, and I don't. That's the thing. I've never had a psychic reading, so I can't say what my view is on them. I think that I honestly think there are real psychics out there, and um, I was trying to find Jeff's email. I sent it to Scott. Colleen, did you not get my email? Do you need my email? Anyway, really quick though. I think that some psychics are real, but I think those people that claim that they are um, whatever they can see Dogman and communicate with Dogman. I really honestly have a hard time buying all of it. I do believe some are real, but I don't think the majority of them are. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know what's under the ice in Antarctica. But your guess is as good as mine, brother. To be honest, I mean, some people say Nazi. Uh, what is it? New Berlin or whatever. I think it was New Berlin or something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, bronze. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I got a recent client up of Dogman. That's what it is. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Colleen, I don't understand what you mean. On the Connecticut New York line. So you got a client. I actually was at a powwow one year when I used to dance traditional and fancy dance when I was younger, and we'd go to different powwows around the East Coast. And one night, these guys were just chilling out, and dancing was over, and we were going to TP, chilling out, talking to people. And this dude had this mason jar with mulberries and some kind of hallucinogenic. And wow, what a great time that was. I'm Mohawk. No, I have not heard from him again. The camper in Delaware. I've sent him emails and have not heard anything back from him. Actually, Last of the Mohawks was, or the Mohegans was filmed in my town where I live. A lot of it, all of it, actually. I gotta see this thing, what everybody's talking about. This is kind of freaking me out here. Let's see. Jesus, he's getting an ass load. He's getting $15 for a 74-page book. Holy shit. Wow. Good for him. Not really. Schmohawk. I know I'm probably never going to hear again anything from the border patrol agent. He I mean, he's not in this country right now, and so I don't think he'll be around. No, Colleen, never heard of him. I mean, he had the experience. So I don't think, I mean, he had the one experience. So it's probably craziest experience one of the craziest experiences I've ever read. And besides the Meeker, Colorado, where the story was shared with me, and then all of a sudden there's bits and pieces of it in the news. Libra, I didn't see your comment. I'm one person, so I'm trying to go as fast as I can. So, I mean, if you want to ask it again or say it again. Meeker, Colorado was where the cows were being attacked, and someone reached out to me and saw a government kill team kill them and sent me hairs from there. And then it was in the news that the cattle massacres had stopped. It was going on for months. There's a couple videos. Definitely not changing my LA Dodgers hat for a San Francisco Giants hat. Sorry, my friend. Do I have nicknames? Nope. Dad. Daddy. That's about it. My kids call me Daddy. Libra, what was your comment? Please retype it so I can see it. I didn't see it. Thanks, Kathy. Subscriber painted that for me. The flag is from a subscriber as well. Joe, no information other than what we've heard about the. But all right, Libra, I'm not going to go all the way up and find it because it'll take me forever to find it. So just, I don't know. I'll get lost. Dogmen are definitely not done in Brazil yet. I think that we will. I mean, that was the fourth attack in a month's time. So there's uh, definitely going to be more. And probably we won't even hear about them, you know. So it's sad. Thanks, Rochelle. Thank you so much. I'm gonna find Libra's comment just so I can. Let me see. Fuck. This is why I can't find it. All right, is that it? Nope. All right, I'm just gonna go back to old episode. Can't find it. Two giant dogmen hiding behind giant industrial bins, throwing them at police. Scared. Police officer shot his pants. Is that your comment? Yeah, that was. Oh, Jesus. I don't even remember. Jesus rocking steady. He wants me to get a Giants cap, I guess. Dogman daddy. You know, San Francisco and LA playing is like the New York Subway Series with the Mets and Yankees, I guess. I know the story that you're talking about. Fuck. It's popping into my head. I think there was look at my hair tonight, guys. How's that look? I think that story that you're talking about, Libra, is no, that's it. Was it the one that the guy I can't remember. Fuck. I'll figure it out for you, I promise. Sorry. What's the next step with Dogman? It wasn't. It was a guy who. I think it was in Maine. I think it was in the Maine. For some reason, something keeps popping in my head, and I think it was the same guy that shared an encounter. Um, there was an old encounter that this guy had seen something. Fuck. All right, I'll get back to you, Libra, because I don't want to like just sit here acting retarded. Friend lived across the street, thought it was a gargoyle. What do you guys think about gargoyles? I mean, what about like in Chicago and like the Mothman and stuff like that? Um, I think that could be a possible explanation for gargoyles. That was a cartoon. Holy crap. I completely forgot about that. They could be demons. You're right, Micro Dork. Interdimensional, definitely possible. I don't want to see a gargoyle. That's something I definitely don't want to see. Well, I mean, Robert, you really don't know they are demons unless you've had one in your house and you dissected it. I mean, that's your theory. Rock and steady. Enjoy your smoke. Be careful. There's a monkey outside now. That's, those sounds like that was like the Georgia sound, that video that I put out today. Um, and it sounded like an African safari. Has anybody ever been in the woods and you hear like coyotes and you're the regular kind of North American sounds, and then for all of a sudden something happens and it sounds like Africa, like there's just like these really strange friggin' sounds. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, Matt, I've talked to Lon about that. Me and Lon have had many conversations about the gargoyles, Mothman, the things that are flying around, but they're theories. You know what I mean? It's everything's a theory right now. There's no 100% um, facts until we have one figured out, dissected. You know what I mean? Me and Lon are friends, and I mean, we're good friends, so I talk to him a lot. And James Dark Waters, us three are really good friends together. So I'm pretty familiar with Lon's work, Matt. Really, actually, very familiar with it. Speaking of Bo, um, that video a couple days ago, or about a month or a month ago, a couple weeks ago, I shared that video about the Arizona park, and about how a guy and his wife, Aaron, just send me an email, my friend, please. Um, had They went to this state park and he had his camera with him and he set up his camera and he caught a bunch of uh, cryptids, dogmen in the woods of Arizona, and that's Bo right here. My friend Bo's in the house with us. There's a movie. Um, that I think you guys will like. Um, and I do believe that like a lot of the Hollywood movies nowadays have some kind of spin of truth to them. Uh, it was called The Lullaby, and it was based on Lilith and her children. Um, how when she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden and her children were all crazy and torn up, just really fucked up. Yeah, there were dogmen. There were some that were dogmen. There are some that just like gargoyle like and stuff like that. If you guys get a chance to watch it, it's called Lullaby, and it was on Hulu, I think. Um, I watched it last night, and it was pretty creepy. So Hector and Libra poet are having their own private conversation. Hector's like, at least I'm paying attention to you. No, it was on Hulu. And it was freaking awesome. If you guys get a chance to watch it, watch it. And Libra, I'm actually reading some of your comments too, but I've got about 150 comments coming at me, so I can't answer every single one. Karen, I didn't want to say the movie scared me, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm definitely going to watch The Fourth Kind. And the reason why it freaked me out was because um, I only watch scary movies when I'm at my house by myself and there's no one here. No, I don't listen to other YouTube channels, Kevin. I do my own work, and um, I don't get caught up in what other people do. What are your thoughts on sleep paralysis and demons? Sleep paralysis definitely definitely exists. I had something really fucking weird happen one time. So, okay, remember how I shared about um last week? I'm a lot of you guys are here, and all right, Jesus. So a lot of you guys are here from last week when I shared my experience with the Ouija board and why I felt like I saw my dog man and why I got sick. Um, Hang on a second. So one night after all of that occurred, and it actually brought me back to that experience because the Ouija board had said we were going to see the Hounds of Hell, and my cousin dreamt about the Hound of Hell. Both my cousins who were there are dead, and my friend is spiritually and just riddled with his own illnesses. But one night I had gotten out of work, and I didn't want to wake my kids up, my wife up, so I just went to bed on the couch and kind of passed out. So we were renting. We had like this downstairs apartment, and the basement was like a crawl space. So the door was like off the kitchen, and I'm laying on the couch, and I hear the door, the basement door open, subconsciously maybe, but I mean I could I it freaks me out thinking about it. So I'm lying there and I hear it, and in front of me, behind me is the wall. So I'm on the couch. In front of me is a coffee table. and I hear this panting, and I hear something walking around the coffee table to go close to me, and I can almost hear it like brush onto the table and hear it's panting. And I'm trying to yell out, like I'm trying to scream, but I couldn't. And it sits, whatever it was, if it was sleep paralysis, if it was a demon, whatever, sat by my face for a good couple of minutes. And I'm literally trying to yell out, like, help. So I couldn't even get a word out. And I was wide awake, but my eyes were just clenched closed. Um, Finally, I was able to muster like the power to scream out, and did. And it was fucking scary because something was right there, like, and I don't know if it was sleep paralysis. It was insane, Libra. Thank you. But I don't know if it was sleep paralysis or if it was some sort of demon or what it was, but it was just right there. And then it was gone. After it was gone, I was able to communicate, like I was able to yell out. When I opened my eyes, the door to the basement was open, and the door, like the basement was like a crawl space. So there was like no way. I don't even know what the hell it was, but it was scary as shit. So I do believe in sleep paralysis. That's scary, Paul. Thunderbolt. No, it wasn't like electric. It was actually like I could feel it like rub. I could hear it rubbing the table. Like it was something was there. I didn't open my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes. The movie is on Hulu, but I couldn't open my eyes. Like I couldn't. I was trying to scream out, but when it was finally gone, when I knew it was gone, that's when I opened my eyes and I was able to yell out. And I looked, and the basement door was open like a crack, and I got up and I like looked down there and shut the door. Dogmen, yeah, have been in the cities, yes. The movie was called Lullaby. I do think that Dogman um possibly could be Lilith's offspring. There's a Navajo, there's three generations. There's a guy who is Navajo Indian who is like his great grandfather was a shaman, and his great grandfather had told him stories about the Lilith and her creations or offspring and stuff like that. There are definitely Dogman in Texas, definitely in Fort Worth, I'd say. The Nightmare. Hmm. What channel is that on, Libra? Or not channel, but like what where can I watch that? And if you guys want to watch a freaky movie that's real, it's Hostage of the Devil. Holy Jesus, was that scary. Thank you, Pierrette. I hope I said your name right, Pierrette. I appreciate your support and sharing that. Um, in Houston, maybe. Micro dork. No, it's not. Malachi Martin. It's holy God. And my friend is in the movie, and Jim is in the movie. And he wrote this book. Jim Pettinito, the guy who worked for the Warrens. If you guys seen the movie Hostage of the Devil, Jim Pettinito wrote this book called Phantom Messages. And Robert, good night, my friend. And if you get a chance to grab this book, grab the book because it's such an amazing book. Hostage of the Devil book is great. The documentary is amazing. It's on Tubi. What's on Tubi? Hostage of the Devil? I want to see this nightmare that Libra's talking about. That'd be cool. I might do that, Drunk Ant. I'm going to have Kirk back on. Yes, and probably Paul sometime. Yep. No, never read that book. There's certain people that I don't really care for, so I don't give things a time of day if I'm not. You shouldn't have any buffering issues because I'm really having awesome connection tonight. So you can find it online. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, that is a good idea. If a reptilian was learning into me so close to the breath, I would have thought. It was not a reptilian though. There was a dog. Like it sounded like a dog. Favorite horror flick? Hostage of the Devil, probably, because it's real. Then I don't know. Chud will always have a special part in my heart. The movie Chud will always just stay so good. What's up, Redline? Holy shit. Christian 777. That is a crazy. Hang on a second. I had a friend who called me right as he was in a fatal car accident, and the voicemail recording his last moments, that had to be demonic. Wow. I'm sorry for your loss, and holy crap, man, that is insane. Wow. Dude, things like that bring a tear to my eye. I don't know why. I feel like a Sally sometimes. Holy shit. I got to get another pod real quick. I'll tell you guys the story in a second. 2 seconds. I got to run out into the living room and grab another jewel pod. Hang on. Told you. So, Christian's experience. Jesus. I had a friend who I was supposed to go with them. This is a crazy, crazy story. So I'm supposed to go with, I was like 16 or 17, and my buddy had a Jeep Cherokee pickup truck. Do you guys remember those? Um, so w- the day before, we ate some mushrooms and we went to an amusement park and rode the roller coasters and shit like that and skipped school, of course. And the next day, we were supposed to do the same thing. And I didn't go with my two friends. Uh, and he pulled out into, he was leaving his house and got in a car accident. His truck was in flames, and his parents actually drove onto the scene and heard their son screaming as he was burning to death. And it was two of my friends. And crazy enough, I was supposed to go with them that day because we were going to do a repeat of the day before, and I didn't. And I literally have not thought about that incident in such a long time. Um, my friend Chris Sherman. So wow, that's crazy. I haven't thought about that in such a long time. Whew. Christian, do you still have that email? Or not email, but voicemail? I can't blame you for not deleting it. But if you get a chance, read this book, Christian, because it's what you explained is a lot like this book. Is a lot of things are like that in this book. I think you'll appreciate that. Uh, you guys just want to shoot the shit for a little bit. Best movie, best scary movie. I saw Basket Case was out there. That was supposed to be a film in Glens Falls. I want to see that. I want to see Dungeons and Dragons actually. Um, what about the? Have anybody seen that new movie Knock at the Cabin with Batista in it? Thunderbolt and the Giant Spiders. Jesus Christ! Knock at the Cabin was with Batista, and it was um basically they were the four horsemen, and it was incredible. No, Libra, I haven't read that, but let me write that down. Hang on. John John Souza. All right, I'm definitely going to pick that book out and check those out. Ian, if you get a chance to watch the movie, it's amazing. Cabin in the Woods is good, but Knock at the Cabin is like right from the very beginning. I was like, Dust Till Dawn is a classic. That is definitely a classic. But yes, it's on Peacock. Right at the very beginning, I was like, wait a second, there's four people and they're talking about like the apocalypse. I'm like, they're the horsemen. And sure enough, it was the horsemen. Yeah, they even had the weapons. That was yes. The Mist is a creepy movie. Oh, you okay, okay. Sorry. I my confusion, Matt. My confusion, brother. And yeah, the guy who did Dungeons and Dragons was an occultist, and that's why so many like people wanted the game banned because they were like, "Oh, it's a satanic game," even though like it was a game for kids, not kids, but good people. Like I don't know, it's stupid. Heredity was freaking scary. Heredity was weird. It was one of those make you think. Dog Soldiers was okay. Season one of the X Files was based on his case. I'm gonna definitely check that out, Libra. I wrote the name down. Last House on the Left. I think I remember that movie. Someone commented House of a Thousand Corpses. Um, that's a great movie. That whole like Devil's Reject, House of a Thousand Corpses, and the last one were like awesome. And then uh Rob Zombie did that movie called 81. 81, I think that's it, where it had like the little midget Nazi. If you guys get a chance to watch that movie's sick. 24, that's what it was called. Thank you, Dan. 31, 31, 31. I have the movie out there. I'm not getting up again though. It was freaking sick though. Yeah, it was 31. Yes. That was so cool. The little midget Nazi. I was like, what the hell am I watching? I loved it though. Mouth of Madness was a great movie. You know what movie messed like freaking screwed me up that and it was so weird that it had such a negative effect on my psyche was Flowers in the Attic messed my brain up for a while. It was just such a weird movie. Sleepaway Camp was filmed a half an hour from my house. TW. Microdork. I don't watch other YouTube channels. I literally don't have time. I work 7 days a week, 16 hours a day on my channel. Broken by Trent Reznor. Yes. I have the original VHS still. It did have the most messed up ending with the wiener hanging out. I was like, what the hell am I watching? That was the original tranny movie. Yes, Jake, it was. You're absolutely right. And it just freaked me out so bad. Like the whole thing was just like a fucked up movie. Amityville was awesome. Um, I don't know if it was Amityville 1 or 2, but when that creature thing, when the demon came out of the well in the house, it because I saw Chud. Chud was my first horror movie I ever saw. I saw it when I was 8 years old. And then I saw Amityville and it brought me right back to Chud and I couldn't sleep for weeks. What? They're making a remake of Clockwork Orange? They can't make a remake of Clockwork Orange, man. There's nothing better than the original. How close do you live to the Amityville house, Hector? Because that's a place that I want to go. Um, like when me and Isabel, my youngest daughter, when we went to the real Conjuring house and rented the house out for a night, I'd love to go and like check out the Amityville house. Um, More than any other house, I think, just because. I've got to look this Clockwork Orange shit up, man. That's crazy. Remake of Clockwork Orange. Dude, get out. It's technically not a remake. Oh, it's another adaptation of the book. Okay. I agree with you, Hector. I really do. Micro Dork, I really hope that's not the facts on that. Because that would just be like too much for me. Clockwork Orange was disturbing. I remember, check this out. We were 12. My cousin Mike is a year younger than me, so he was 11. My cousin Steve and my uncle Paul. And my uncle Paul's my mom's brother. And he's kind of a square. He's just like, I don't know. Everyone had that asshole uncle that they fucking hated, right? But this was like the coolest thing he ever did with us. He sat down and he rented Clockwork Orange and watched it with us. And I was just like, what the hell is this movie? And it freaked me out. I was like, dude, this is cocaine spiders. But like Clockwork Orange is one of those like cult classics like Rocky Horror Picture Show or Little Shop of Horrors. I can imagine your teacher would be ticked off for watching that in school. Is Mothman 46 leaving? Because he said, good day, sir. Definitely not a movie to watch at 5 years old. Lost Boys is one of the greatest movies ever. They should have never, ever, ever made any sequels to them. That's another cult classic. Lost Boys fits in with those three movies that I mean, dude, it's sick. Like Lost Boys is one of the greatest movies ever. I still believe. Yeah, it had a sequel and it was horrible. It was just The Green Inferno. Great movie. Great movie. No, Lost Boys isn't getting a reboot and it can't. You can't have Kiefer Sullivan like no one can ever take place those characters. Do I have a favorite comedy movie? I don't like comedies. I like stand up. I don't like watching comedy movies. I like stand up. Poltergeist was a freaky movie. 3 o'clock high. Buddy Rebel. Buddy Rebel. That was a great movie. Eli Roth. What is that? Why do I know that name? Oh yeah. Cabin Fever, Thanksgiving. That's how I knew. That's right. He did Green Inferno. That's right. There was that's has anyone seen that thing that they did? Like they did like a little commentary thing on Eli Roth. Maximum Overdrive was a great movie. Emilio Estevez. All 80s movies with John Cusack. What are we talking? Pretty in Pink now? Kiefer was the main character in Lost Boys. He made that freaking movie. Salem's Lot was really good. I think didn't wasn't there did they make a new one of Salem's Lot? Tremors was freaking awesome. And you know what was so good about Tremors is the movie was so dumb that the sequels were just as good as the first, so you could watch them too and not get pissed. The TV show or the movie, Paul? Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire, Rain and Blood Slayer. One of the greatest freaking records ever. Micro Dork. Marilyn Manson did a cover of that song and it was so good. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Classic B movie. I've got to watch The Fourth Kind, man. I really do. I know I've got to watch it. The Hitcher. Estrada. Estrada was the Hitcher with Rutger Hauer. I think the Hitcher was with Rutger Hauer in it. I said Rutger Hauer. Matt, thanks. Yes, okay, that movie was awesome. They did a remake, right? It was stupid. Because like the ending wasn't the same. Like when they had that chick tied up to the back of the truck, I was like, no, dude, don't do that. I was like, please don't do that to that girl. And they did it. And I was like, mother. Yes, C. Thomas Howell was in it. Yes, that's right. Holy shit. That movie was awesome. I forgot all about that movie. Wow. He was a badass actor. Removed all my books and research. That's sad. Can you imagine? I would be pissed if my family did like an intervention. I remember when my ex-wife, my divorce was finalized last week anyway. Um, when we first met, I had a ton of like books on the occult. You know, like I had books on like alchemy, books, just crazy books that Aleister Crowley wrote and stuff like that, right? And my ex-wife was so narrow-minded. She thought that I was in a cult because I had books on the occult. And I was like, that should have been a sign right there, you know? Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Large Marge. Thanks, MS. Happy days. Um, you're drunk, yeah. No, I've always been like this. I've always had uh Rad. Yes, I do remember Rad. I've always had this. I was into this well before I was diagnosed with my illness. Because I mean, I had my Dogman encounter in '94. So Rad was such a good movie. That was the BMX movie, Hector. Old Yeller. I remember when our schools made us watch that. What year was Rad done? Oh, hang on. It was 82. James, I was diagnosed with PNH. All right, so my Dogman encounter. My Dogman encounter. Micro Dork wants to know if you guys don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, but I got a new person that wants to hear it. So let me get comfy here. So 1994, I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, my best friend, his girlfriend, and our buddy who was 18 and could drive. Um, I was 17, so I couldn't drive at the time. Uh, he had this big land yacht, and it was the old Gutless Cutlass or whatever. No, it was a Caprice Classic. It was this kind of baby blue color. Um, so where I live in upstate New York in the Adirondacks, and a lot of people from like the city were moving up here. Um, so they were building these cul-de-sacs and with like $400,000 homes. And my best friend's girlfriend lived in the one above the one we were in. And there was so that it was like a U shape. The main road was here and it was a U shape. And there was these houses on the out or the inner wall. Thanks, Rochelle. There was houses on the inner wall, right? And they were all skeletal. They were at different builds. Some had like walls, some didn't, some had roofs. It was just different. In the middle of the houses, in the middle of that U-shaped cul-de-sac, is this orange glowing light. We weren't drinking, we weren't smoking weed, we weren't doing anything. I was trying to get lucky, actually. And so we were listening to Biohazard. I'll never forget the, you know, songs we were listening to. And because actually the Punishment song came on right at that very beginning of what happened. Um, all of a sudden we hear this noise. It was people say they sound like a woman screaming like she's dying, and this was far worse. Uh, I remember the girls were like vampire, and thanks for Shell again. And all of a sudden, they're in the car, and I'm like, vampire? What the hell is going on? My buddy Gabe was sitting in his car because he was playing the tunes. So we looked we're watching the woods and we're seeing these eyes at different heights. Some were like 3 to 4 feet, some were 6 to 7 feet off the ground. And I remember my friend starting his car, and I'm standing at the front passenger light looking into the woods like, what the hell? What is going on? The woods behind these houses, like when they clear cut this cul-de-sac, they pushed all of the debris, all of the woods and everything into the woods. So it's rough travel, with like brush, scrub pine, all just broken logs, everything back there. But these things are like moving through the woods. We can see them. We can't see what they are at the time. My friend, my best friend at the time, was Czechoslovakian, and his name's Martin. And he's like, Jeff, get in the car, bitch. And I'm standing outside, like, what's going on? I'm not brave. Like, I'm just like confused. He tugs my arm, and I get in the car, and the girls are in the back. Martin's in the middle. Martin's riding, bitch. I'm by the window. Gabe's on the driver's side, and we pull out of the cul-de-sac. So as we're pulling out of the cul-de-sac, we are going to turn left to go into town. We're about 5 miles from town. And as we get to the stop sign, I look to see if there's cars coming, and there's this thing standing on the side of the road, like it had come out of the woods to, I don't know, either show us that it could travel through the woods or try and catch us. It did have a snout. It did look strong, but it didn't look like the typical van housing. This thing looked like it just didn't belong on Earth. Like it looked like nothing I'd ever seen before in my life, and I hope I never see something like it again. We turned and we were out of there. So the next day, me and my friend Martin, we go back and we park, and we're walking and looking for tracks or anything. The foreman of the site comes over and it's like, what the F are you guys doing here? Get out of here, yada, yada. And instantly I'm like, we're looking for my friend's dog. His dog got loose. We're trying to find his dog. I don't know why I said it. As I say that, he looks at us and says, that's crazy. Last night when we were closing up and buttoning everything up, we heard what sounded like dogs fighting in the woods. And me and my friend looked at each other and we were like, what the hell? We leave, and the friend who was driving the car kind of left our circle of friends. Like, he just never hung out with us again after that night. A couple years ago, I ran into him at a store, and I was just like, hey, what's up? Yada, yada. And we started talking. I said, I got a YouTube channel, narrated these books about dogmen. I'm like, what happened to you? Like, what happened to you not coming and hanging out anymore? And this is the scariest part of it is, well, he was changing the cassette or flipping the cassette over because that's what his car had. he looked out the corner of his eye and he saw two huge quadruped animals cross the road to go behind us. And 30 seconds later is when the howling started. Um, so if we didn't leave when we did, I think those two that were behind us, I think they were setting us up to hunt us and kill us. I don't know, but that's kind of what it could have been. So since that day, I had been obsessed with Dogman and went to every bookstore, used bookstore, anything I could find. I still have the book that I bought in 94 in my books up here. But yeah, that's my encounter, Micro. So, Thunder, you're going to bed? Have a good night, brother. Sorry, just reading the things what I missed. I wasn't close enough to them to smell anything. Um, I was in a car when we were going away from it, and when they were in the woods, they from where we were parked on the road to where they were a good 50 feet in front of us. Were you freaked out about your encounter? Yeah. Thanks, Libra. That's like okay, so that's why I say like I know what I saw. So like when people are like, why did you let this person share on your channel, Jeff? Their encounter sounded really weird and stupid. But I know what I saw, and I remember what it was like when I told a few people about what happened, and people were like, "Nah, no, that's bullshit." So, oh, Crystal's here. Crystal wasn't supposed to be here. She's working nights. Um, so that's why I allow anybody to share on the channel because I wasn't there. I can't tell that person that their encounter didn't happen because I know mine happened. So who am I to tell anyone that their encounter didn't happen? You know what I mean? Oh, you're on break. All right. The legs weren't like hawks. It looked like no creature I'd ever seen ever before. Um, and I mean, you could tell it was very strong, but it didn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, do I think they can see infrared? Possibly. I'm not an artist, so no, I couldn't draw it. I used to draw really good, but no, I just Yono, you made a private video. I hope it's not graphic. Micro, I don't believe that. No, I don't. Just to be honest with you. Personally, there's a few channels out there that I really believe tell the truth. Dark Waters is one, and not because he's my friend, because I know him personally and I know the type of person he is. So he's very truthful. Myself and a few other channels, but a lot of channels are just looking for like fame or whatever. Would you ever go hunting for a dog, man? No. I don't. I mean, if one was coming at me, I would definitely shoot at the fucker, but I don't think people should go hunting for them. Dude from Texas, I agree. It was about 7 feet tall. It was just a strange looking creature. It had a snout and its ears were perked, but I can't, it was fucked up looking. Um, I saw it for a total of probably 10 to 15 seconds. There's a video that I did last summer that I actually went back to where I went through the development. It's now a development. And I parked my car way away from it and went into the woods of where it was. And, you know, it was definitely creepy. Kind of like lupine, but different. Its legs were straight. They weren't hocked, like bent at the knee. Its stature was, I guess, it almost looked formal, like it was just like there. Hector, I would have to disagree with you on that. The 411 is an amazing thing, but I know some different things about him that would kind of shock people. But anyway. West New York City, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. 411 is legit, but maybe do a little research into him and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, he brought an amazing thing that was going on to our attention, but just some other things I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to look and figure it out. Dude from Texas, probably not, to be honest with you. Here, hang on a second. I just want to. So what we are talking about, if you open Wikipedia and you go into early life and career, and at the end of that, you click on 4. There's a little icon that says 4, and it's in blue. Read that, and there's a lot more that you can find. But that's all I'm going to say. But I'm not downing him. Like, he brought the 411 to our attention, you know? Like, and it's an amazing thing that he did, because I think that the population as a whole wouldn't be aware of it, you know? But just there's, I'm done talking about that. Let's see. Hang on a second. I had an encounter saved that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Hang on. Let me find it. What the fuck is it? Sorry, I'm just looking for this. I had an encounter that I saved on my phone that I wanted to share with you guys. Is that it? That's not it. Fuckers. Hang on one second. Sorry. All right, I'll just pull something out of here. Here we go. So we're about 2 hours and 18 minutes in. Let's do a couple Dogman encounters and then we'll end it, all right? I was driving home on an isolated road through a mountainous area. It was late and dark, and I honestly couldn't have told you exactly where I was. All I knew is I was in Tioga County, Pennsylvania, and that I needed to stay on this road I was on until I finally left the state and hit my home territory in New York. I was in and out of dream day or daydream state. You know how it is when you're exhausted and trying to push on. I was so exhausted that even the caffeine wasn't giving me what I needed, and I was too cheap to spend money on a hotel. However, while I was approaching a curve, this is where my experience begins. My headlights lit something up that looked like a person, except almost double, if not triple, in size. I had to swerve to avoid it, and I sure as hell woke up from that. I wasn't sure if I had clipped him or her, but my car started sliding into the ditch. First thing I did was get out and make sure that I hadn't hit somebody. I was thinking, why would there be somebody out here in the middle of nowhere wearing all black? There was no one around, and I was pretty sure that there had been somebody on the road. I wasn't certain of it. My car was good and stuck. The tires wouldn't grip in the mud. I didn't want to call for a tow truck, but it was looking like my only option. I sat in my car and tried phoning out when I was sure I had seen movement. I was hoping it was someone willing to help me, but then thought it was just my exhaustion playing tricks on me. I shook my head, wondering if it would be a good idea just to sleep right there in the ditch and wait for the tow truck. Then it started to rain heavily. I was really tired, and the sound of the rain was not helping me stay awake. Then the thoughts of sleep were suddenly gone when the driver's side window was blocked by a drenched, furry body of something very large. It was walking on two legs, but there was no way that this was a human. It stopped, then peered into the window. It was so ugly and evil looking that it's the only description that I feel is even appropriate. It was pointing its long wolf like snout right at me, baring its teeth in a menacing grin like it was smiling at me, as if it was happy that I was trapped in this little metal enclosure. Those long yellow fangs, the worst part was its eyes. There was no soul to them, but they had a supernatural glow. It then ran its claw on my window, which made a scratching sound. It was sadistic, so evil. It maintained a stare and a grin, like it was letting me know that there was nowhere I could run. I then noticed another wolf like creature come out from the downpour, and then another. I don't know how many there were, but I was paralyzed with fear. It seemed like forever, though it was only a matter of seconds, but then they instantly disappeared. I looked around hoping that they were gone, and then I was wondering why they took off. I soon found out. A pickup truck pulled up behind me. An old man stepped out, walked up to my driver's side window, and volunteered to pull me out of a ditch. He looked at me and asked if I was all right. I didn't tell him what I had just seen. He hooked the chain to my car and quickly pulled me out of the ditch. I thanked him profusely, offered to pay him for his trouble. He refused payment. I then felt comfortable enough to tell him what had happened to me and that I had never seen anything like it before. After I described what I had seen, he got a strange look on his face, almost like he had heard this before. I asked him questions, but he was dismissive. I was positive that he was aware of these beasts. That was November of 2020, and I will never forget it. Are the Dogman videos from Brazil real? The videos that I shared on my channel, Antonio, the other day? Yes, they are real. That's real news footage. Anything on my channel, if I say that it's real, is real. If I say you guys decide, that means I don't know if it's real or not. But I don't put fake crap on my channel and say this is actual trail cam footage and then have another channel call me out and say that's from a video game, which I did to another channel a while ago. Hey, buddy. Come here. Oh, come here, you bugger. Ugh. My buddy wants to say hi to all y'all. Oh, buddy, say hi. Yeah, Danielson's. Exactly. Thomas, I will. I promise you. Jeff, would you come onto my podcast one day? I'd love to have you. Dude from Texas, send me an email, my friend. Thank you. He's my best friend, actually. It is, Micro. It is. Buddy, say hi to everybody. 3, James. What are you doing, bud? Oh, yeah. The attack that I shared in Brazil, Twave, that was this month. That was this month. And there's been 4 attacks already. So, but I think there will be more. Unfortunately, I don't think we will hear about them because it's not happening in a they're not happening in like a city. It's happening outside of, in the very rural part of Brazil. What's up, buddy? Huh? Lucas, little fucker. Yeah, he is a handsome dink. That's the only treats he eats is lobster temptations. Oh, bud. Paul, if you get a chance to get one, definitely do. Ginny, I was 17. I wasn't 19. I was 17 years old. Do you know what in Brazil? I don't know what that means, Jarrett. He weighs probably close to 30 pounds, actually. Do you know what in Brazil? Question mark, question mark. Oh, it's not a city. It's a town outside of the city. It's in a rock formation, close to a rock formation. Dumpster kitties are the best. Any cat is the best. Cats are awesome. Except when they shed. I would share it on my channel, T Wave. I do what other channels don't do. I call police stations and I put them on the spot. I've called and recorded them. Actually, Tazewell County Sheriff's Department admitted that there was a second body in a culvert, and there's never been a mention of it before or since. So I'm not afraid of repercussions. Um, yeah, I would do any kind of interview. All right, guys, we're about 2.5 hours in. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I'll definitely see you guys next weekend. And I had a blast this evening. I hope you guys had fun. Um, this is definitely like I look forward to doing these with you guys. And I think it's a great way of meeting you guys and you guys to meet me. That way y'all know that I'm not just some fucking, I don't know, whatever. But guys, stay safe, all right? And have a wonderful week. The uploads will be every day as normal. And I'll see you next Saturday. All right. Have a great time. Have a happy Sunday.